Dr. Johnson. Sit back and relax while we give you advice and tips on business matters and matters of the heart for busy executives. And now, Katrina and Edward.
Hello, hello, hello. How are you? Boy, oh boy, can you believe it? 2023. Wow. Wow, 2023. The time just flies. Well, how are you? How was your New Year's? Happy New Year's to all of you, to all of our listeners. How was your New Year's? Did you celebrate? Did you stay home? Did you go to church? What did you do to bring in the new year? Okay. Were you with your family? Were you with your love? Hey, somebody just sat at home with their love and just relax. Okay. But whatever you did, I am excited. I'm glad that you had a great transition into the new year. So many people, so many did not make it into the new year. 2022 had so many number and they didn't make it in. But there are those of us who made it into the new year, 2023, and I'm excited and I'm glad that we've made it. Aren't you glad? I am glad. All right, so tonight is we're waiting for Miss Katrina to jump in at any given time. She was having some technical difficulties, but she'll be arriving, and I'm just going to be holding things down until she arrives. But tonight is our love topic, and we talk. We basically we're a business formatted show where we talk about the busy executives, the business woman, the businessman on the go that needs technical support, business support to make your success uh, in your business thrive, to make your life as a CEO, as the president, to make it thrive. And then we added, Miss Katrina talked with me about it. Then we added the love topic because, as you know, so many people are successful in business. So many people are enjoying great success with business, great financial support. However, when it comes down to their love life, their romance, their family, things are not going so well. So we do the love topic. We do the love topic with Dr. Love so that I can begin to give you some insight and encourage you and answer some of your questions and just kind of like point you in the right direction because all of us have been like the blind man needing and looking for someone to help us navigate crossing the street safely and successfully. Okay? We all need that. No man's an island. I learned that early on in my life and in my career. I was one of those guys who, I wanted to be an island. You have that. I don't need anyone. I don't need. Listen, listen, listen. The longer I lived, I realized not only that I need someone, I need everyone. I was reaching out today. I've got people that I'm reaching out to today just to say, listen, I would love for you to help me um, do what I have to do. It's too big for me to do by myself. So I've got to have help. I've got to have support. So I'm reaching out to women. I talked to some today to say, listen, what Dr. Love has planned for 2023, it's off the chain, and I'm going to need some help. Isn't that the way it goes? If you can do it, here's what they say. If your dream can be brought into existence with you alone, it's not big enough. If you can do it all, it's not big enough. When you get to the point where you need help, you can't do it by yourself, you need more and more people coming in and you need a team around you. Now you're starting to really get into the thick of it. And that's what you need. You need to be in your passion, you need to be in your career, and it needs to be larger than you because you're going to draw people around you that's going to aid you and help you. Okay. So We're excited tonight. We have a great topic tonight. We're going to be talking about um, what I do and the fact that I am a woman's relationship empowerment coach. That's what I am. I am a woman's relationship empowerment coach. I rescue men by empowering women, and I love what I do. But now listen to this here. Someone said this to me on LinkedIn, and I know we stream live over LinkedIn. Someone said to me, "Have you considered some of the other platforms? I guess TikTok and what else is it? Clubhouse and uh, what else is there? What is the photo one? I forget that other one. Instagram, yeah, Instagram. You know, there's so many other social medias." She said, "Have you ever considered them? Because LinkedIn is a business platform." And I said, absolutely. That's the reason I'm on LinkedIn. I'm on the other platforms as well. And I actually came to LinkedIn last. That wasn't the first platform that I came on, but LinkedIn was last because I realized when it comes down to love, not many of us really understand and take care of the business of love. See, we take care of the business of life. We take care of our cars. We take care of our homes or our apartments. We take our clothes to the cleaners. We get our hair done. We get our nails done. We go to the dentist. I have a dentist appointment tomorrow. Dentist call me. Don't forget tomorrow, 10:15. But we do all those things. But when it comes down to the business of love, we really miss it a lot of times. And that's what I wanted to really just start. I wanted to open up tonight with talking about relationships. Because when we talk about relationships, oftentimes we think about love relationships, a man and a woman, love relationships, and that's important. That's top. I'm interested. I want my love life where it needs to be. I want a great love life. Okay. I want to have somebody I love, somebody I care, somebody, you know, I, I I hold their hand. They got my back. We share everything together. It's the most intimate. It is the most comprehensive. It is the most demanding relationship out of all the relationships in the world. When a man and woman comes together, that's the number one relationship. All relationships stem from that. And tonight I wanted to just begin to share with you. Not only am I a woman's relationship empowerment coach, I am a relationship specialist. I am a relationship specialist because oftentimes we don't really understand, or we really haven't given it thought, I should say, that in life, it's all about relationship. You may not think on it like that, but it's all about relationship. Okay. There she is. Miss Katrina's here. Okay. Hello, hello.
Hello, hello. Happy New Year, everyone.
Great. And happy new year to you as well. Uh we were I was just I went through the opening and I was just talking about the fact that oftentimes we don't realize it, but life is all about relationship because I was telling them I'm a woman's relationship empowerment coach. I am a relationship specialist where I deal with relationships, all relationship, because see, we don't realize oftentimes that it's all about relationship.
Yes.
It's all about relationship. When you look at it and you strip it all down, and I did some things here. It's like, what is your relationship with? When we talk about relationships, you talk about, oh, my girl, my guy, my husband, my wife. But when we talk about relationship, we could say, what is your relationship with God?
Yes.
How is your relationship with money?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How is your relationship with your family, your siblings? Okay.
Yes.
How is your relationship with your immediate family, your husband, your wife, your children, your grandchildren? Then the other is I would ask the question, how is your relationship with the woman that you married or the man that you're in a relationship with and they have kids? Because oftentimes a woman brings kids to the relationship, a man will bring his children to the relationship from another relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And then we would ask the question, how is your relationship with the children that are not yours but came to you through that man that you're dating or through the woman that you're dating? You follow what I'm saying?
Yes.
Because oftentimes when it comes down to that relationship, how are you able to adjust yourself? Because first of all, when you come into a relationship, first thing a kid gonna say is, you ain't my father. All right, you ain't my father. Don't come in here
Mm-hmm.
thinking you're my father. Or a girl when another woman coming in there, listen, you ain't my mother. Don't come in here thinking, you know, it's relationship.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? So
Yep.
how are you doing in your relationships? And I said I'm gonna just run a few of them down. We talked about your relationship with your job, your relationship with money, your relationship with time, your
Yes.
relationship with your home, your relationship with your children, your relationship with your business, your relationship with your health. Do you take time and understand the relationship with your health? I was just talking with our producer and we were talking about money. He said, listen, he said, first you get your health where it needs to be, then you get the money.
Yeah, that's right. Well, health is wealth.
Health is wealth. Health is wealth. So, how is your relationship with your health? Okay. How is your relationship with your recreation? What do you do to enjoy your life when you're off of your business, when you're when you're away from the desk, when you're out of the studio? What is your relationship with recreation? Do you have places you go? Do you have people you meet up with? What do you do? Do you ride a bike? Do you golf? Do you play tennis? What do you do? What is your relationship with your recreation? Okay. What is your relationship when it comes down to the pains in your life,
Mm-hmm.
the struggles? How do you relate to the struggles? We all have struggles.
Mm-hmm.
How do you relate to your failures? How do you relate to the setbacks in your life? Okay. See, all this is relationship. How are you relating to all of the relationships that are around you? And believe you me, there must be about 10 to 15 different areas of relationship. So this year, I wanted to just say Happy New Year to everyone that's tuning in today. And I wanted to just share with you in this new year, I wanted to say to you, let's have a new year, a new you, and a new view.
Mm.
Okay. A new year, a new you, and a new view. Okay. That is so that is so important because you you the way you see things, the way you look at things, the way you interpret things, you can go. This is what I oftentimes say in my counseling sessions. They say she's not going to change or he's not going to change. Well, if I change the way that I look at the fact that nothing has changed, that's a change within itself.
Absolutely.
Okay. Did you get that? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
If I change the way I look at the fact that nothing has changed, I'm just changing the way I look at it. Nothing has changed, but I change the way I look at it. That's a change within itself.
Yes.
Okay. That's a new view. Okay. And that's what I want you to have. This year, I want you to have a new view of life, your business, your love, your accomplishments, your goals, the things that you set out to do, the failures, your struggles, your pain, all those things. I want you to really have the time, take the time to look at it from a different perspective. Okay. And I want to know, what do you want? I was thinking about it. My granddaughter was here today, and she's how old is Gabby now? Gabby is, I think she's 7. Okay. And she was at the table, and she was eating something, and I was giving her, I don't know whether she wanted more rice or gravy or what it was. And then I said, well, what do you want? She said, I think I just want another piece of cornbread. I said, well, is that all you want? What do you want? She said, I don't know if I really want the cornbread. She said, I should just get some candy sweet potatoes. I said, what do you want? It took me 3 times to get her to really tell me what she wanted.
Mm-hmm.
And her father began to explain to me, just what he thought it was in terms of her reluctancy. You know what I'm saying? See, as a child, when you don't really develop a child, and you're in the process, I should say, in the process of developing a child, to listen to, what do you want? They begin to second guess themselves.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And I don't want that for her. I don't want that for anyone. And today, in this new year, I want you to begin to just be confident in saying, what do you want? What is it? Whatever it is, whatever it is, I want you to take the time, be confident, and be clear on what you want, even if you don't see how you can obtain it.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to just be confident and say, this is what I want. I don't know how I'm going to get it. I don't know if I can, but this is what I want. Okay. And that's the new view. That's the change that I really want to just hone in on today. I was talking a few days ago, and I shared this with my people the other day. Is that people change in one of 4 seasons in their lives. Okay. People change in one of 4 seasons in their lives. The first season would be, the pain and the heartache is so severe that I can no longer deal with the pain. I have to change.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's just gotten so bad, so unbearable, that I have to change. The second season in your life is where I've seen enough and I'm inspired to change.
Mm-hmm.
The third season is, I have learned enough and I want to change.
Mm-hmm.
And the fourth season is, I've received enough and I'm able to change.
Mm-hmm.
See, receiving, and that's what I really just want to encourage you tonight, is to receive enough. Okay, we have a challenge with receiving. Receive enough so that you're able to change. Because
Mm-hmm.
that's the one thing that's constant in life, is change. That's the one thing that's constant. None of us are the same. I
Mm-hmm.
know I still look like I'm, 21 and 31, but I'm I go out with my grandson. They said, that's your son. I said, no, that's my grandson. That's your grandson. Yes. Yes. But I'm changing. You're
Mm-hmm.
changing. Okay. And this is a year of change. And those of us who get into this new year with a new you and a new view, the changes that's going to take place in your life, the changes that's going to take place in your family, in your love, in all those areas of your life, you can imagine how wonderful your life is going to be. And that's the
Hmm.
reason I want you to stay connected with Dr. Love, and connected with Miss Katrina, because we have programs and systems just to build people, just to aid you and add to what you're already doing. We all have a piece of the puzzle.
Yes.
Okay. It's just when you get with other people, when you get with another coach, or when you get with a mastermind, when you get with someone else, it just makes you that much more sharper, that much more broader in what you see and in what you understand. Okay. So I don't know about you, but I'm gearing up for a great year. Okay. I'm gearing up for an exciting year. And here's the thing that I wanted to really I wanted to begin to have you uh, lock into, is that I was talking with someone, and that we were talking about relationship, and they were telling me how much work they put in with themselves. They said, I had this failure in my life, I had this disappointment in my life, I have this, you know, and remember, your failures and your mistakes don't define you.
Right.
Okay. They don't define you. They're just stepping stones to elevate you. And I can't say that enough, because we beat up when you fail, or when you make a mistake. I know when I failed and made mistakes, because I've made some mistakes. Okay. Those mistakes, those missteps are necessary, okay, for you to get to where you're going to go, and then to be able to look behind you and lead others. You know what they say? You can't teach what you don't know, and you can't lead where you don't go.
That's right.
Okay. So understand, embrace the failures, embrace your mistakes, look at them differently. Okay. And this is what I wanted to add to you. I wanted to add tonight, when we talk about the mistakes that I've made, and then I begin to work on myself. See, I have a different approach, and I want you to begin to just try this on. I want us to move away from working so hard with ourselves. Since I was working with myself,
Hmm.
because the key for personal growth and development is not so much working on yourself. That's a good start. But rather than working on yourself, it would be understanding yourself.
Yes.
See, understanding yourself. See, when you look at all of us have a tendency. Okay, all of us have a tendency. Someone was talking about paperwork. When it comes down to paperwork, I like to do certain things, and then when I look at all the paperwork, I kind of like, but oh Lord, I start walking in circles and going around, and I don't care how long you take, you're gonna have to sit down and get that computer or pick up that pen. You're gonna have to sit down and do those things. Okay, so understanding yourself, you begin to position yourself differently, and you begin to get yourself to the table. You begin to get yourself in front of the computer. You begin to do different things because you understand you have a tendency to shy away from those tough tasks. Okay. So
Hmm.
you've got to understand yourself. Now, I'm going to give you one more thing today, because this is what's really going to help you exponentially in your growth and development. Is after understanding yourself, you want to begin to align yourself.
Hmm.
See, Wallace D. Waddle said this here. He said, the key to success is not doing certain things, it's doing things a certain way. And see,
Yes.
oftentimes we begin to work so hard, we begin to do and do and do and go and do and do and do and do, when we really would exponentially grow if we begin to align ourselves.
Hmm.
And one of my favorite scriptures is the Psalms, be still and know.
Yes.
Wow. Do you know how many? Do you know how many circles I done walked in circle. I done circle after circle after circle after circle after circle. Why? Because I wasn't still. And you've got to be still. That what is here we go with relationship. What is your relationship with your patient spirit? The relationship. Okay. I was telling a story the other day. My my alarm, the alarm on my car, the remote on my alarm on my car alarm, it was a little something. So I said I probably need another battery. So I go to the shop, and the door had a doorbell on it. So I hit the doorbell. It said ring the doorbell for service. So I rang the doorbell and I listened. Now I'm telling you, I heard a little something, but it wasn't enough for me to be really clear on what was being said. And I don't know if it was a car passing by. I don't know if they were telling me, I don't know what it was, but it wasn't enough for me to take a course of action. And
Mm-hmm.
here's how I work with myself. If I don't hear an instruction, I'm not going to move.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to sit there and start pulling on the door. You know what I'm saying? I'm past that. You know how when you go to a door, it said push and you're pulling. You know what I'm
We've
saying?
all done that.
You know what I'm saying? I'm beyond that. When I go to the door, I start reading. Okay, my father said, "When in doubt, ask. When in print, read." Okay, the door said pull, and I'm pushing. Okay, so I heard something, but it wasn't enough for me to really take a course of action. So I just waited. So the gentleman wound up having to come to the door and open the door. And the energy that he had towards me, because I was standing at the door, he was saying, as he was coming to the door, I could hear him say, "The door was open. The door is open." You know what I mean? The door is open. The door is open. You know what I'm saying? But as I begin to develop the relationship with myself, I said, I can't shift into the energy that he's bringing, because he's annoyed that he had to come from wherever he had to come from, open the door for me, and I'm standing there. I told you the door was open. I told you the door was open. I was yelling. So all that's going on, and I'm saying to myself, I said, I've got to stay connected. I've got to stay present. You know what I'm saying? That's the terminology. Present and connected. I'm understanding that your door is locked and you've got to let us in, but you've got to be clear on the message that you give me. Either you got to get a loudspeaker out there and let me know if the door is now open, or you know what I'm saying, or you have to have somebody come to the door and open it. But you've got to do something better, because I did the first thing, that's to ring the doorbell, and now I'm awake. See, that's why I said understanding yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We also said be still and know. Okay. Then we also gave you the importance of not working so hard, not going and doing and being and going and going and going and going and going and doing, and begin to align yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Can I give you one more little principle that came to me? 4 minutes of concentrated thinking is equivalent to 20 hours of doing.
Absolutely.
Just 4 minutes of just thinking, just well thought out thoughts, is more productive than 20 hours of doing and just operating, just shooting from the hip.
That is true.
Am I right?
That's absolutely right. Well, number one, it helps you organize yourself. It helps you to see the pros and cons and things.
Mhm.
It helps you be clearer in what you're doing. When you just go out and do and you're shooting from the hip, you miss details
Mm.
that you would have had to help you move more efficiently.
Mhm.
You waste more time during the day trying to figure it out while you're doing it than you do with having a plan. Now, it doesn't mean that some things might not go according to plan. But if you
Mhm.
have a plan, you have that guideline. It's like when we talk about having a business plan. Yeah, everything may not go the way you expected on that business plan, but you can see what's going wrong. Sometimes you can't see exactly what's going wrong, how it went wrong, because you didn't have a plan to go into it.
Mhm. Mhm.
Even when it's with relationships, there should be a plan for your
Mhm.
relationship. The
Absolutely.
two of you get together, and discover, okay, this is how we're moving. Even if everything doesn't go according to plan, we can see where things veered off,
Mhm. Mhm.
in the relationship, be it a family relationship, be it a romantic relationship or a business relationship. You can always see the breakdown because, okay, we've communicated.
Mhm. Mhm.
All right. We talked about what we like, what we don't like. All right. The breakdown happened is because, look, you said this, it hurt my feelings. Or you did something, I don't like that. Like,
Mhm. 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 Mhm.
how are you treating me? I don't like to be treated like that. I don't like to be called that. um
Mhm.
I don't like, hey, it goes down to it, I don't like spinach. Why are you showing me spinach?
Mhm.
you know
Yeah. Absolutely.
and all of these things seem like they're small things, but they're really not. When it comes to it, is the detail of it. It's knowing your person, knowing your partner, knowing your business partner. Um, you know, because of the different things that come up in relationships, even with love, like with time. All right, are you making the time? um, what's getting in the way of having time, and how can we
Mhm.
work around this? Things happen in life. um, you know One person may have to start working a little bit more, so that's bringing less time. All right, so then, hopefully you have that incorporated in anyway. But the date nights, maybe you had a whole bunch of time, so you didn't even think about having a date night. But now it's like, okay, now we have to schedule some time to be together. And it's not scheduling that time, because some people say, oh, scheduling takes away the romance. I beg to differ.
Mhm.
If you know the person well enough, you can schedule that time where it's romantic, where you have the quality time. You're both hopefully have the some similar interests. um, so
Yes.
you can do those similar interests together. Or even if you have something that's not a similar interest, considering your partner, okay, I'm going to do this because this person likes this. We've talked about that before. But then you enjoy yourself anyway, because you know that this person is enjoying it.
That's right.
you
That's right.
know um how often is like, okay, I don't know about this and this, and you get there and you have a ball just because you're with the person that you love, and you just having a ball because you see that they're so delighted.
Mhm.
I mean, you
Mhm.
can come and correct me, but the person is delighted. Their face is lit up. So you're having the time of your life, because you're like, wow, they're really enjoying themselves. I'm enjoying them. You
Mhm.
know, these are the different things and the different nuances. We're coming into the new year, like you said, a new you. Um, having a new perspective, knowing yourself. Sometimes, a lot of times, we look at that other partner, but we're not looking at ourselves and what we can do better. We're
Mhm.
not looking at ourselves and seeing how maybe we're coming off, or maybe, we lost focus on what the big picture was. And those things happen. It happens all the time. It's easy for things to come in to intercept the relationship. And then it's like, how do you adjust? Are you willing to adjust
Mhm.
to those things? Are you willing to have those hard conversations? Is there easy conversations? There are hard conversations that you have to have. So when you take it from the perspective of, like you said, everything is a relationship. People can act like it's not, but without you, without me, there would be no world, really. Like, we
That's
need
right.
each other. We have to
Yes.
make sure that one another are doing well. Like, what's going on? um
Mhm.
Earlier today, I reached out to somebody. They had reached out to me some time ago, and I sent them a message, and I didn't see anything back. So I was like, let me call. And so I contacted that person. And I was like, hey, what's going on? They's like, oh, I was just checking just to see how you're doing
Mm-hmm.
and everything. And I was like, that's how we are supposed to be, just do a welfare check. How are you doing? Sometimes in the relationships, we forget to ask people that, or if we do, people think it's just part of the greeting. How
Mm-hmm.
are you? And then they walk off. And I'm like, wait a minute. How are you doing?
That's right. Tell me,
Um,
tell me. I want to know. I want to know.
yes, I asked because I really am interested.
Mm-hmm.
And it surprised me some conversations I had where people weren't doing so well, or they just needed a little bit of help. And I was able to provide that help or that insight or that conversation. Um, you know, we're in COVID time and even before that, but I'm a hugger, always have been. Sorry if you're in a
Mm-hmm.
relationship with me, any type, somewhere along the line, you're gonna get a hug from me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's important. That's important.
But that contact, I've hugged people just because that's my personality, and had people break down crying on my shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
It's just having that contact, whereas you just don't know. Some people go and they don't feel that love, that commitment,
Yes.
to, are you actually okay? And if
Mm-hmm.
you're not okay, that's okay.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Because we all go through those. It's okay.
That's right.
You don't
Especially
have.
around the holidays too. The
Oh
holiday.
yes,
That we we don't realize how big that is for a lot of people. You
for
know what
a
I'm saying?
lot of people,
A
and we're still in
lot
the
of people.
holiday season.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize how much I would have things for people who did not have family during the holidays. But it wasn't until I started to experience things. I used to volunteer with little brothers of the elderly, but it was more like little brothers and sisters.
Mm-hmm.
And I would visit an elderly woman. She was in her 90s. She had outlived all of her family, her husband, everybody. And
Mm-hmm.
she was so lonely. We all had scheduled times to meet. I was there more than that. Because I was just like, wow, this woman lived this whole life, had a whole history, had contributed to the freedoms that we have. And
Mm-hmm.
now she's in her house by herself.
By herself.
And so, just being there and just listening, hearing that history, hearing about the things that she lived and had to experience. Number one, gave me an appreciation for the freedoms that we do have,
Mm-hmm.
but also to losing family members and losing family members around the holidays. Really has an impact, and that has happened in my life. And when you're sitting there, you're like, Dad, this was their favorite holiday, or I remember, seeing so and so at the
Mm-hmm.
holiday
At the
party.
holiday.
And so a lot of times we go about our business and we don't think about those who don't have anyone.
That's right.
We're busy posting our pictures and posting our cats and dogs
Mm-hmm.
and holiday
Shopping and buying
celebrations
things. Yes.
right. And so it's like, but what about that person who had a loss or is sad? Um, I
Or
think
sitting in
about
or sitting in the hospital in the emergency room. I'll never forget that one
the
year my
hospital.
father
Yeah.
was ill, and Christmas Day my family's at home and I'm sitting in the emergency, with my dad.
Hmm.
So I mean that's Christmas Day.
Yes.
So you just never know where people are,
Yes. Yes. And what they're going through, people in
what
the
they're going through.
hospital. Because when you said the emergency room, there were people who were actually in the hospital, in ICU, in
Mm-hmm.
intensive care, inpatient in the hospital, and everything like that. There were, just people that just, maybe, even this that simple, moved out of town, had to move away from everybody they knew, for a job or what have you. And this is their first holiday without their family,
Mm-hmm.
and everything. And, you know, everybody said, oh, well, go visit. That's not always easy for people.
Hmm.
everybody's situation is different. So just having that, and I'm glad you brought up the holiday because it's a lot. It's a lot, it's a lot. I see videos, and it was just it was sadness
Yes.
and everything like that, and those things cannot be dismissed.
Hmm.
Around the holiday time, there was somebody who was really, really, really famous who was here, and then he wasn't, and they were like, "Oh my God, I just saw him," and unfortunately, he decided he didn't want to be here anymore.
Mm.
And this was someone who always had a smile on their face. Sometimes
Hmm.
you can't be fooled by somebody who's smiling all the time.
All the time.
Um, you know, Sometimes you can't be fooled by someone who is the one that picks you up all the time.
Hmm.
How about you check on the person that's always picking you up, always encouraging you? Like these are the different things that we have. And this person was, I believe, I think I read that and everything, was married,
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah.
and had children, I believe.
Hmm.
And so you just never really know where people are, what they're dealing with. Um, you know, how many times have you just been sad for no reason
Hmm. Hmm.
and everything, or like, I don't even know why I'm feeling like this,
Hmm. Yeah.
you
Well,
know?
it's always a reason, even if you can't put your
Right,
hand on it. You know what I'm
right.
saying? And that that came to mind when I was thinking about when it comes down to just that relationship piece. You look at someone, and I was just walking up the street one day, and a guy was talking to me, and it was a long block, and he talked from the time we hit 42nd Street all the way up to Belmont, and all I did was listen. And when we got to that point, I'll never forget it. He said, "Thanks for listening." You know,
Hmm.
See, so when it comes down just to relationship, and that's why, I kind of like really lean in on the relationship part because, when I'm interacting with people and something happens, my first question to myself is, how did I miss that? You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
When I interact with you, you know what I'm saying? The term I gave you the term present and connected, turned on, tuned in, and tapped in.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. See, I'm turned on, I'm tuned in. Okay. Just because you're smiling doesn't mean that you're happy.
Right.
Okay. Just because you're laughing doesn't mean that you're not carrying some things. You
Yeah.
see? So you want to begin to, and those are the things that you want to understand when it comes down to relationships. I would tell my children, we would be going and doing and whatnot. I would say to my children, and I would have them write this down. I said, slow down to an accelerated pace.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? When you slow down, and we talked about that just a little bit. Uh, you move more efficient when you slow down.
Hmm.
And you're actually moving faster in that slower pace because you're not backtracking, you're not zigzagging, you're not recant. You know what I'm saying? You're absolutely moving efficiently because you've slowed down to an accelerated pace. So you're kind of like consistently hitting it, and that's what being connected is all about.
Yes.
Okay. And when you engage with somebody, I mean, but I realized the energy, like that man at the store. I mean, I picked up his energy. He's annoyed. Okay, but I can't let that shift me.
Right.
You see, he having a bad day, I'm having a bad day. He broke, I'm broke. You know what I'm saying? Got no money. You know what I'm saying? You just snap off at each other.
Right.
Okay, but it's about relationship, and that's what I want. 2023. If it's not your greatest year, I want it to be one of your greatest years. Okay, and that is possible with you getting to the point where you understand, I want to see things differently. I want to do things differently.
Hmm.
Okay. I want to do things differently. I want to see things differently. And I want to be able to listen at this here. I want to be able to adapt and adjust myself to others.
Yes.
See,
Yes.
That's relationship. To adapt and adjust myself
Mm-hmm.
to others. Okay.
Yes.
See that? See, that's huge. That's important to me because we're living in a society where we're so busy. I mean, life tries to keep us so busy and doing and going until we really miss it. If you don't
Mm-hmm.
take the time, if you don't take the time, it just doesn't come and present itself. You've got you've got to be willing to say, listen, we're going to the movies tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Or I'll do that. My daughter asked me the other day. I said, I'm going on vacation tomorrow. You know, it's a staycation. I'm home. But I said, I'm going on vacation tomorrow. What am I going to do? I'm going to eat my favorite food. I'm not going to do anything strenuous. I'm going to read my book or look at my magazine, but I'm on vacation for the day. I'm going back to work tomorrow.
But
Okay?
those days are important, and it's
Oh,
part of the relationship. Part of the relationship is your wellness and your self-care.
so important.
And taking that time, taking that break, to just come to yourself. Do that spiritual cleansing, that spiritual renewal, um,
Hmm.
doing that mental renewal,
Hmm.
having that mental health day, having that staycation, that fun time, at home, if that's,
Hmm.
what
Hmm. Hmm.
you need to do. But what I liked what you said, it was like that this is going to be the best year yet, or it's going to be one of the best.
One of.
um that tomorrow's gone, can't do anything about tomorrow, but you can work on the present, and work, live in the present, and work while you're working on the future.
Hmm.
And that's in every area, in love, in business, in life. All right, yeah, we had an argument, some people 10 years ago. All right, that was 10
Hmm.
years ago. All
Hmm.
right, what are we going to do today? you know I want to work on this relationship today. You are important to me in this present moment.
Hmm. Hmm.
It's, and you, like you said, adjusting. All right, what did I do? Give me your perspective,
Hmm.
and being emotionally intelligent enough to make those adjustments. That's what, because a lot of people throw around emotional intelligence, that's the new buzzword,
Okay.
and everything, but emotional intelligence is about how you govern yourself in
Hmm.
relationships with people, not changing other people, but changing yourself, changing how you show up,
Hmm.
changing, like you said, how I listen, how do I have my finger on the pulse?
Hmm.
Am
Hmm.
I picking up? You're smiling, but ooh, wait a minute,
Hmm.
the
Hmm.
vibe
Hmm.
is a little bit different.
That's right. The energy. The energy.
Right,
Yes.
right. The vibe is a little, whoa, wait a minute.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, how are you doing really?
Hmm.
Because we're programmed to say, oh, everything's great, everything's great, and everything. And with the, and I'm throwing out some business terms, the law of manifestation, or attraction, or whatever, is
Hmm.
like, oh, say things great, even in ministry, it's speak it until it comes into fruition.
Hmm.
Okay, I get that. Everything's great. Really? How are you? Everything's great, yeah, but how are you? you
Hmm.
know getting to the brass tacks of what's going on. What's
Yes.
your pain point? What's your problem thing? You might not have a problem with me, you just might just have this issue that's just nagging you in your brain,
Hmm.
or everything, or just different things that are going on. Being able to tap into that,
Yeah.
and that, I feel like that is the core of all relationships.
It
Getting
is.
to the core. What's going on?
I just.
How does this person communicate, and
Hmm.
how do you communicate with them where they know that you care?
Yeah. I just said that to a friend of mine today. Someone called me, and we were talking, and then we got to the point when when you ask someone, when I ask you how you're doing, or when you ask someone how are they doing, you know what you're really asking them. What you're really saying is, at this moment, what are you most aware of in your life?
Yes.
That's what you're. What are you most aware of? I just left the hospital. I got this kind of diagnosis. doesn't matter the fact I got a new car last year or I'm going on vacation next year. It's like when I ask you, how are you doing? What I'm really saying is, what are you most aware of right now?
Right.
Okay. And that's what you want to begin to create an atmosphere where people are free to kind of like begin to share with you in maybe an elementary way. You don't want to just blurt it all out, but in an elementary way,
Mm-hmm.
you know, I'm a little bothered about something. I'm a little, you know what I'm saying? In
Mm-hmm.
just an elementary way, but you are at least of the mindset where you understand what I'm asking you when I'm asking you what I'm asking you. Okay?
Right. 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 Right.
So
Right.
important.
Right. It is being able to interpret the real deal.
That's
Being
part of my
able to
name.
interpret what's really going. Hey, there you go. Being able to interpret what's really going on,
Hmm.
and everything like that. And like when you said it, when you was like that thing that's in the front of your mind, that thing that's poking, because there's all kinds of things going on, but it's always that one thing that's really showing up.
That's right. Up front and close.
Um,
That's right.
right. That's right out in front. And putting people in the place where they, like you said, are comfortable
Hmm.
sharing, where they don't feel like they're going to be judged,
Hmm.
where they're not going to feel like you know, that they're crazy. You know, talking to people sometimes is interesting because when people share things, I'm like, yeah, I do understand. I
Hmm.
feel that such. And it's like, man, I didn't want to share that because I thought somebody would think I was crazy. No,
Hmm. Hmm.
we all go through things. There are many voices out here, and everything like that, that whisper in our ears.
Hmm.
Even the best of us have
Yeah.
something that comes in like such, and you're like, hmm. So,
Hmm.
it's just a thing of being present in the moment, being relatable,
Hmm.
being approachable,
Hmm.
to people. And all of that has something to do with building solid relationships, building steady relationships,
Hmm.
and healthy relationships. So I love this topic. Like I tell people, I never know the topic, the love topic, before we even go live on air. I actually love it that way because we get the reactions live, from me at
Okay.
least.
Okay. Yeah. 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 A,
um,
a pleasant surprise.
of it, and it makes me think in a certain type of way. I always pull something from the conversations. It makes me grow as an individual. And it's like, okay, well, wait a minute. Am I doing things right? Because this definitely made me think, especially when you brought up the holidays. I know it was on my mind, about, people have different circumstances during the
Hmm.
holiday.
Hmm.
And, we're always like, oh, happy holidays, Merry Christmas. It's not happy or merry to some people,
Some people.
and understanding that, because sometimes, like, I've been to a place where people would be like, oh, happy holidays, and you would have that person and be like, oh, you're a Grinch. They're not a Grinch. They got something going on.
Something going on.
And it may be married to you, but not necessarily to this person. And they
Hmm.
have a reason for it. It's not that they just want to rain on your parade. It's not just that they want to just have attitude. Maybe they're, like you said, they're going home to an empty house. You're talking about, oh, my family's coming in from all over the world. We're gonna have a
Hmm.
thousand people there. And all this
Hmm.
person is thinking in their mind, dang, I'm gonna go home by
Hmm.
myself with my little
Yeah.
TV dinner.
How come I don't have all that?
Exactly.
Hmm.
Why am I alone? They're
Hmm.
they're having this whole big dinner, and I'm going home to hungry lumberjack dinner. I'm just
Hmm.
making up something because
Hmm.
I don't want to talk about a brand. Um,
Hmm.
but I'm going home to this lonely dinner, by myself. with my cat, my dog, or maybe my dog died, and now I'm
Hmm.
really by myself.
That's right. That's right.
It's just these different things that um, when these topics come up, and when you really sit to think about these things and ponder these things, it really helps to change your viewpoint.
Hmm.
Um, with what's really going on with people.
What's really
You
going
know,
on?
maybe that old lady that seems so mean and crotchety is that way because she's by herself. Like, there's something to be said that somebody who outlives everybody they know,
Everybody. That's right. That's right. That's right.
and everything like that. And if you take the time, and I'm not gonna say everybody because you have your outliers, but you know, if you take the time to actually sit and talk to this person and let them know that you really care,
Hmm.
what you'll uncover.
That's right. That's
And
right.
maybe this person that's alone, you got 1,000 family members coming. What's 1,001?
Hmm.
You know, um, I've had that happen where it's like, oh, I'm having this, and person's by themselves. Like, why don't you just come on? Come on.
Hmm. Hmm.
Oh, it's not gonna be. But I got so much food. Come on.
Come on.
Come and
One more.
enjoy.
Hmm.
Um, the day. So you have somebody. You don't have to worry about cooking. Come on. You know, like these things make a big difference
Yeah.
in the lives of people, because I tell you, everyone makes a difference
That's right.
um
Someone.
in
It's
life.
like I need. When it comes down to it, it's like we all. It's like someone to love me. You
Yes.
know. And in my work as Dr. Love, you know, that's the underlying thought that a woman says, I just want to be loved. My wife is a fan of the royal family, and she, Lady Di, she just reads all Lady Di. She just loved
Yes.
Lady Di. And she said, that's all Lady Di wanted from Prince Charles. I just want to be loved. And when you look at that, that's what people are saying. I just want to be loved. But as Dr. Love begins to take it to the next level, it's not, I just want to be loved. We need, it's not just a
Mm-hmm.
want.
Mm-hmm.
We need
Mm-hmm.
to be loved.
Yes.
And when we're not loved,
Yes.
we suffer.
And absolutely. And this goes on the romantic level and on a platonic level as well.
That's right.
Just to feel loved, to
To
feel like
feel it.
I
That's right.
matter,
That's right. That's right.
and to have somebody, people say it all the time, but I don't think they always get the gist of it. I want someone to love me for me.
Mm-hmm.
That's huge.
Mm-hmm.
Because number one, to love somebody for them, you have to, number one, know them.
Mm-hmm.
You have to care about how they feel, how they think, what they like, what they don't like.
Mm-hmm.
It loving someone is selfless. It's a selfless act. The spotlight's not on me, but it's on you.
Mm-hmm.
It's on her. It's on him. It's on them.
Yes.
And so I think that's what people kind of have to get, that like loving somebody else is not thinking about me per se. It's thinking
Mm-hmm.
about them.
That's right. That's right. And love is reciprocal. You can't give it without getting it. It's reciprocal.
Yes.
It's an exchange. And I
Yes.
wrote and I wrote this, and this is some of the things that I'm going to be posting about and talking about in 2023. Uh, I wrote this the other day. Someday, somehow, some way, somebody's going to love me,
Yes.
and I'm starting with myself.
Yes.
See,
And
so,
it's funny because when you were talking, what I got is somebody's going to fill my cup. Because sometimes we're busy filling other people's cups, but
mm-hmm,
nobody's pouring back.
mm-hmm,
And so it's like, if I'm pouring out to you, you're pouring out to me, then we're never empty.
never empty, never empty.
And yes, show yourself love. Oh yes, show yourself love. Um, please do. And everything. Don't get me wrong with that. Yes, please show yourself love. You have to show yourself love. Honestly, I don't feel like you can love anybody else if you don't love yourself.
That's a fact. That's the start.
Yeah.
That's the start. That's the start. That's the reason I said someday, somehow, some way, somebody's going to love me, and I'm starting with myself.
Yes.
Okay, and I want you to hear that today. Everyone who's tuning in, those who are tuning in late, begin to love yourself,
Yes.
and it's only a matter of time before he or she is coming to love you. That's the way it works.
Yes. And that on that note, that was the perfect way to end this show. Um,
Time is up.
if nobody else told you that they love you today, we love you. We care about you. And if you need help, we are here for you.
Hmm.
Just reach out to us, and we are there to make sure that your business is well, your platonic relationships are well, and your romantic relationships are well. Thank you
Yes.
so much for joining us for this first episode of season 7. Can you believe it? 7 seasons.
Whoa.
7 seasons of
Time
high tea.
flies when you're having fun.
It really does. It really, really does. We do thank you for your love and support, because without you, we would not be here for these 7 seasons. And we just thank you for your continued support and your love towards us. And have a wonderful night. Thank you for joining us for another episode of High Tea with Me. To be a sponsor or a guest, contact us at info@ventureready.net. Thank you again, and we'll see you next time.